TaxAct knows filing taxes can be confusing, so we have live experts on hand who can help answer any questions you may have. Questions like, can I claim my SUV as my home office if I answer work emails in my car? If I adopted 12 dogs this year, can I list them as dependents? And, am I doing this right, or am I doing this very, very wrong? Our experts have the answers to those questions and many others. TaxAct. Let's get them over with.
This episode is brought to you by Fandango. People say fans are too distracted these days, but the truth is, when a great movie hits the screen, you show up. You stay glued, invested, part of the story. And without fans like you, there'd be no cinema magic, no shared moments. So head to Fandango.com to get tickets, stream, or rent or buy top movies and series. Fandango loves fans.
What's going on, everybody? It's Mercedes Terrell from Bellator MMA.
Hey, this is Billy Howardell from A Perfect Circle.
Hey, I'm Adam Carolla.
Hey, this is Max from the Arkells.
Hi, this is Tina Stoll. I'm a driver in the NHRA.
Hey, this is Dallas Smith.
Hi, I'm Commander Chris Hadfield.
I'm Danny Danko. I'm the Senior Cultivation Editor for High Times Magazine.
Hey, guys, guess what? I'm Jake the Snake Roberts, and you're not. Yeah, bad break for you. You're listening to the Toddcast podcast, like you didn't know.
The Toddcast podcast is powered by Citywide Mortgage Services, providing complete financing and mortgage services for residential and small commercial businesses. Visit them at citywidemortgage.ca.
Now, here's your host, Todd Hancock.
When you come up on the west coast of Canada as a little kid, learning to connect one person at a time, and eventually your reach goes far beyond. From Netflix's Lost in Space to the raw edge of Riot Girls, one of this week's guests is carving out a path that doesn't follow the usual script. Victoria, BC roots, global screens, and a creative drive for storytelling. Actor, musician Ajay Friese joins us, and here he talks about shooting a lot of his career in Vancouver, Hollywood North.
I shot Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency with Elijah Wood there. I shot 3 seasons of Lost in Space in Vancouver. And I shot 5 episodes of Riverdale in Vancouver, as well as a show called The Order. So yeah, probably like 60% of my acting, my screen acting has been in Hollywood North.
Love that. He goes, probably 60% of my acting, my screen acting. Cool. He's done so much work here in Vancouver, it's home. So joining Ajay Friese, you know that when connection is real, it's built by your reputation, person by person. Well, this week's sporting guest, from coaching transformations to building strength that lasts, carving out her place online through discipline, consistency, showing up, fitness trainer, motivator, and builder of better habits. Samantha Losier talks about how long she's been fitness and nutrition training.
I was actually a really lazy teenager. It wasn't until like my mid-20s that I got into health and fitness, but it was because I was just at such a point in my life that felt so unhealthy, so uncomfortable in my body, so I knew I needed to make a change. But I've been in the industry now as a coach for probably about 7 or 8 years, something like that. But as far as like my whole because I've actually lost 40 pounds myself. So as far as my whole transformation, it's been like almost 10 years that I've been in to health and fitness. It's kind of become like my whole identity.
There's something a lot of us can relate to. I felt so unhealthy, so uncomfortable in my body. I knew I needed to make the change. Samantha showed up on my For You page. I've just been liking and following a bunch of fitness people who are showing you how to loosen up your hips, get better mobility. The pages that talk about eating right. I'm almost 240 pounds, to 236 pounds. I could probably stand to lose about 36 pounds. I'd look pretty good at 200, So Samantha's a positive light in that area of the web, so I wanted to follow along. You're going to hear from this week's musical guest in just a second, an influencer guitarist creating big waves on Instagram and beyond. I love that you're here. I'm Todd Hancock. The big machine just keeps rolling along, and happy to keep making these podcasts for you to listen to. And it's because of our great sponsors that we're able to do that, like our title sponsor, Citywide Mortgage Services. They're who I've used for my mortgages, so trust the people that I do. let them take care of you as well. My good friend Dara is one of the owners. He did my renewal last year. Couple phone calls, couple text messages, and that's it. And considering I was getting in and the renewal was when Trump was just getting in for his second presidency, of course, he immediately is causing market uncertainty. Anyway, Dara navigated through all of that, got me a great rate that I was happy with, happy with. Of course, the Bank of Canada dropped that key interest rate as well, right? That matters. Buying, renewing, refinancing, now is your window. And I know that you know the name. Citywide has been in the game for decades. And the beauty is they work for you. They don't work for the banks. So even if you've been turned down before, Dara and his team should be able to help out. Citywidemortgage.ca. Citywidemortgage.ca if you're liking what you're hearing. Okay, so coming up in just a few minutes in Listen to This, New York Rangers center Vincent Trocheck talks about Gretzky and Lemieux and what if they played in today's NHL. That is powered by Tedco RV Supplies in Langley. RV service repairs, yes, they are ICBC accredited. They are into their 10th year sponsoring. Absolutely mind-blowing the loyalty and support that they've shown since we launched this podcast. Find them kicking around online, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, through their handle at Tedco RV Supplies. First, our first guest of three, this week's musical guest, Sofia Victoria, who you may know as Guitar Windsor on social media. That's powered by Parallel 49 Brewing, an absolute powerhouse in craft beer, not just here locally in Vancouver, but across British Columbia. And you gotta love the backstory. Just a group of friends who love great beer. So they started their own back in 2012. Now they bang out dozens of beers. Their tasting room, their street kitchen has over 40 taps. It's real close to the podcast studio. It's been a staple for years and years. Check them out through parallel49brewing.com. And when it starts in a bedroom, one riff at a time, but somehow pulls in thousands of people watching, there's something happening, right? Built from a beat-up guitar into something entirely her own, Sofia Victoria is carving out her space online through covers, great tone, awesome attitude, no shortcuts, no filters, just amazing feel. Guitarist, creator, and a new voice for a generation. So it may surprise you to learn that Sofia didn't grow up in a musical household.
I'd say so. Like, the thing, like I mentioned before, grunge, Alice in Chains, like that was really what did it for me. That was kind of like a mix. My uncle, he's really into music, and he kind of like anytime he would babysit me, he would like play me records and stuff like that. I remember he played me Fleetwood Mac's The Chain. I still remember that like it was yesterday. He put that on vinyl, and like that intro, like instantly I was like, holy crap, this is really cool. That was one of the first albums I ever bought was Rumors, yeah. And thank you for helping me out there. But like other than that, he also showed me he's a really big Pearl Jam fan, so
okay.
Showed me Pearl Jam. I liked Pearl Jam, but like doesn't hold a candle to how much I like love Soundgarden and Alice in Chains. So he kind of like opened the door, and then YouTube kind of really I started spiraling, going down all these rabbit holes and like listening to all the grunge albums. But yeah, it was kind of like my own sort of independent thing. I really didn't have any like friends or anything either that were into that type of music.
Oh, wow. That's so surprising.
Yeah, it's weird.
I love that. She goes, my uncle, he's really into music. Anytime he'd babysit me, he would like play records and stuff. Sometimes that's all it takes, right? That one cool uncle, the aunt, the friend, somebody who turns you on to something. And we talked to Sofia for just over an hour. You can hear it now through iTunes, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, pretty much wherever you listen, I guess. If you're more into watching the videos, you can do that through our YouTube channel. Of course, all at Toddcast Podcast. It begins simple, playing at home, figuring it out, chasing a sound that feels right. But the moment it leaves the room and hits the screen, everything changes. Support shows up, but so do the critics. And for Sofia, the music got bigger, and so did the noise around it, as people started to question whether she's playing what you're seeing online.
Yeah, a lot of people don't think I'm playing for whatever reason, which honestly, like, it's a compliment. Like, if you think my playing's that good, you know, it sounds it
I
sounds
like the
sad.
one video where you're like, yeah, it's called production value.
Yeah.
Like, well, how come there's music playing when you're playing? Like,
Yeah.
how come you're such an idiot? How about that
Yeah.
as a reply?
And honestly, like, the haters are what pushes my page to the For You page, because it's people arguing in my comment section that it makes TikTok think that, like, oh, like, a lot of people really are engaging with this video, like, they push it. And so it was comments like that, honestly, like, don't bother me. And a lot of times, like, I don't read comment sections often, but when I do, like, they throw me for a loop, because the thing, like, the people who follow me are, like, actually, like, very loyal, and, like, they anytime there's haters, like, I don't even gotta say anything, like, other people will step in and
they got
say
your
something.
back.
Yeah, they got my back, and it's an amazing feeling to know that, like, I've built a community of very, like, cool people.
100%. It's a compliment. Like, if you think my playing is that good, and it's totally true, because she is playing what she's posting, and you think that she isn't, because it's just that good. And from the critics who live in comments and DMs to her love of grunge, Alice in Chains, Soundgarden, Pearl Jam, we talked about aliens, Green Day playing the Super Bowl, her hacked 200,000 person TikTok account, Hotel California's guitar solo, the Chili Peppers came up, as did Zeppelin and Sabbath, her first concert.
The first concert I went to, like, oddly enough, was a Korn and Alice in Chains concert.
I loved your Watu Wadaku
Yeah. Yeah, that video is funny, but, like,
it was Korn and who?
Alice in Chains.
What?
Yeah, Alice was opening for Korn, and I didn't know who Korn was at the time, so I went for Alice in Chains. This was my friend Brooke who invited me, and we went to this concert. We went to go see Alice in Chains, whatever, and obviously I was super emotional and, like, super excited. I was really young too when I went. Not really young, I was in high school, but, like,
young.
16, 17, whatever, around that age. And I remember Korn came out and they started with Blind, and I remember seeing something change in the crowd. I was like, what the hell is about to happen? I had no idea, like, Korn, what type of music they were. I've never listened to a Korn song. And Jonathan Davis comes out, are you ready? And everyone, like, started banging their heads. I was like, holy crap, what is going on right now? Like, I remember being, like, hooked instantly. Like, everyone, the vibe changed so drastically and, like, instantly. And, like, Korn's live performance was phenomenal. Like,
yeah.
After that show, I went down, like, a new metal phase. Like, I love Korn, I love Limp Bizkit, I love Slipknot, I love System of a Down. But yeah, that was, like, a crazy first concert to go to.
That's awesome. Everyone's, like, starting to bang their heads, and I was like, holy crap, what is going on right now? Yeah, that is a metal concert. That is what's going on. The crowd is roaring. Korn is killing it. Sophia also talked about drummer Matt Cameron, of course, from Pearl Jam and Soundgarden, how he's interacted with her posts online, which is very cool. Watching Olympic figure skating, karaoke, she told a Christmas time family near-death story, Limp Bizkit, Fleetwood Mac, and Rush, and her disdain of AI-generated music.
I do not like AI music at all. There's this one software that actually was doing, like, a social media brand campaign, and they hit me up to, like, do some promotional work for them, and I looked into the company and I saw it was, like, an AI music company, and so I just didn't answer. But I saw a lot of, like, my peers, I'm not going to name the company, but I saw a lot of, like, my peers, like, other social media musicians, however you want to call, but promoting this company. And I posted a video, like, I don't understand, why are you doing this? Why are you, like, you're shooting yourself in the foot promoting, like, like, if you're an aspiring artist and you're promoting AI generated music software, it's like, it's beyond me. Like, I don't understand why you would do something like that. I hate it. I would never
hate it as well.
It doesn't make any sense.
Like, music is already at that, like, we're already at the point where it shouldn't be, where it's very disposable and people feel like, it's that next song, Like, again, I'm 52. So when I was a little kid, I used to sit down in front of the record player and I would read the liner notes and read along and see where it was recorded, who played on each of the records. And it's so far from that now that it's insane that people are embracing AI. It fucking blows my mind.
Yeah, no, it's really crazy. Like, another thing, like, to add on to that is even album covers, I feel like the standard has dropped so drastically. And here's like another thing that like is going to cost me a lot of money. Like I promise you the album cover I have in mind, and like if I can I will accomplish my vision, no matter how I get there. I don't know, but like it's going to be an iconic album cover. Like, and I feel like we really need to bring those back. Like, I feel like a lot of album covers nowadays look like an Instagram post.
Parallel 49 Brewing is proudly the official beer of the Toddcast podcast, where craft meets character.
Made a career of bombing me, playing cruel jokes on myself, and the pay was buying time. Found the time to make a cry for help. And the cruelty never ends when you're desperate and I don't need nothing now. Don't believe shit and I don't need nothing now. You can leave it and I don't see nothing now. I'm distracted. In a life without denial, some distraction for a while. Try your best to make a shrine, 'cause it's all just passing time. And the cruelty never ends when you're desperate and I don't need nothing now. Don't believe shit and I don't need nothing now. You can leave it and I don't see nothing now. I'm distracted.
And now, listen to this on the Toddcast podcast.
You know Vincent Trocheck as the kind of center that every coach wants. Strong two-way game, deadly in the face-off circle, plenty of offense. He plays for the New York Rangers, was on Team USA in the latest Winter Olympics. He's an NHL All-Star. He spent his career as a reliable top six center. Drafted by the Panthers in 2011, third round, 64th overall. He signed a 6-year, $28.5 million deal in 2016, stayed in Florida until 2020, then went to the Hurricanes to 2022, and now, as mentioned, New York. And when Vincent was a guest, we got into it, talking about all sorts of things like binge-watching shows, gambling, the big wins, the big losses, the music playing in his house as a kid. He even shared a near-death moment that his Lexus got T-boned. Then the fun stuff, superhero movies, the superpower that he'd want, the ultimate hockey debate, Wayne Gretzky and Mario Lemieux, how they would stack up in today's NHL. So listen to this.
Well, I wasn't really around for Gretzky at all to watch, but I mean, in my mind, I grew up watching Mario, and there's nobody better than he was in my mind.
Yeah. I'm also like okay with taking hits, through the body really well. Of course, was just an amazing scorer. Like, it's something else.
Big
right?
body.
Yeah.
Played in multiple different eras and dominated in all of them.
Yeah, right. And if those guys were to play in today's NHL, would they be as dominant as they were, do you think?
I mean, Mario kind of did play in this maybe not this generation, but he played in an era that was still really fast and tough at the same time, with not as many of the rule changes that help out offensive players. So I think what he did in the early 2000s was pretty amazing.
Listen to This on the Toddcast podcast is brought to you by Tedco RV Supplies in Langley, an ICBC-approved repair shop. Visit them on Facebook and Twitter at Tedco RV Supplies. And now, highlighting our next Blue Light Sessions, powered in part by Canadian Club Whiskey. Meet your new cold one. We serve Canadian Club and Ginger ready-to-drink cocktails at all of our live shows. Visit CanadianClub.com today.
I was lost inside, didn't have a purpose. I was functioning only on the surface. But you came along and you really saw me. So I ran to you, then I knew I could be finally safe in the world, person worthy of love, and no longer ashamed. Out of sight, let me go. The cracks are starting to heal. Now I know who I am. Sun is starting to rise. Can't believe that it's real. Can't believe that it's real. I was so unsure, and I was quickly falling. In a hole so deep, could hear the demons calling. But you threw a rope strong enough to pull me. From the depths of hell, then I knew I could be finally safe in
hold up. That guitar riff, that lick is so Wallflowers, right? It's not just me. You hear it, right? Jacob Dylan would also love this song, With One Headlight. There's Alex Little and Finally Safe in the World, as she is headlining our next live show at the end of the month, last Friday of the month, April 24th. It's volume 49 of the Toddcast Blue Light Sessions. We're into year 5 as we do them once a month, or I guess, we've done a few months where we've had multiple shows. So we're coming up on year 5 of the shows at the Blue Light Sessions, East Vancouver at the Blue Light Studio, Beauty Studio. If you've been, you know exactly what to expect. 2 bands or 2 artists, a Q&A throughout, and you can be involved as well. You can ask questions. It's not just me. 45-minute sets. They're intimate. They're interactive. They're super fun. The room only holds 60 people. That's it. It's very small. Like I said, it's intimate. So if you're coming, grab them early. $22 early bird tickets through eventbrite.ca. Doors are at 7. Enter in the back alley, by the way. Enter in the back alley. Don't go to the front. You will not be able to get in. Shows start around roughly 8 o'clock. So cool. Hopefully you can make it out to this one. We're going to play something from Felicia Andalong in just a little bit. Felicia's opening up the night at our next live show. You heard something from Closers. Great song for these guys called Distracted. And it's too bad that they packed up and moved their home base to Toronto, because if they were living in Vancouver, I would have already probably definitely got them to do a podcast show at this point. They would slay in that environment. The live show, the Q&A, crush out a bunch of tunes. I have put it out to them, but can't really do too much about it. Somehow, unless the band's already on tour, they're coming out this way and maybe they don't have a Vancouver date booked yet. You know what I mean? So suffice to say, I love the band. Check out the entire album from the band Closers. All right, coming up shortly in Stop Me If You've Heard This Before, Ancients singer Kenny Cook shares his thoughts on how to make it as a band. And hey, they're 2-time Juno winners, so they're doing something right? That is powered by the Home Dwell Group. One of their partners, Kyle, I've known this guy since elementary school, grade 6. He's been in that world since graduating high school, originally designing homes and buildings here in Vancouver, now buying and selling homes. So he'll know if a place is worth fixing up, what needs fixing up, maybe even like what it would roughly cost to do that. So if you're buying a home or you're selling your house, contact Kyle through homedwell.ca. First, our second of 3 Toddcast guests this week is our sporting guest, fitness trainer, nutritionist, Samantha Losier. I can't remember what the post was, or the reason I started to follow her on Instagram. While she does specifically target women, I know that much of what she covers pertains to guys as well, which we do talk about, by the way, in the full interview. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen. YouTube, of course, if you're more of a voyeur and would prefer to watch the video interview. I think it's about 35 minutes long. Regardless, I would bet you that it's something to do with positivity, something about digging in, that you can do it attitude. She's driven, she's fun, she has a good grasp of social media and what her followers want to see, and then some. Sometimes you'll see a story of her playing guitar and singing, and I told her it was great to see that, a quick little pleasantry with her about that. And the more that I got to following and checking out her stories, the more that I see it's someone, sharing smart training and nutrition help and building strength and confidence. She, Samantha, like many, has that entrepreneurial spirit because, well, she was working at a great place before she started up her company, but she has that drive, the initiative to start from the ground up, to do her own thing, get her own clients, set her own agenda, do all of the social media, the marketing, the networking, Samantha had the vision to start Impactful Fitness.
You know what? It was not as hard as I thought. But it's all about just, I think for me, I was lucky because it was a lot of word of mouth, right? So my sister had a lot of friends that were interested, and same with my other family members, and just I had some friends. It just, the word kind of got out, and then once I started promoting more online and getting really into that, I started getting a lot of leads there, and It wasn't as hard as I thought, but that was the scariest part for me. I thought, is this going to be difficult? Because I worked somewhere where the clients just came in and they were given to you.
It's so freaking hard to get people to jump on.
You know what I find the hardest part is to get people to like commit to it, because it's like, you know, that like decision fatigue you get when you're trying to buy something. Like when you're buying clothes, it's easy. You're like, I like that. Let's buy it. But when you're committing to somebody with your goals, I think that makes it harder for people, because they're like, oh, now I have to show up so Sam doesn't think I'm slacking.
Right.
But I think like for the most part, the people who reach out to me are ready. They're ready to just start working on their goals, and they're frustrated with where they've been. And I think like that's where things are a little bit easier, is that they know what they want out of it.
So true. She says, you know, the thing I find the hardest part is to get people to like commit to it always. Because then you have to commit. You have to do the things, the stuff, do what you said you would do. I guess that's just how it is, hey? The grind at the start to find clients, do a bang-up job with them. They recommend you, all the while you're still trying to find new clients through online posts and videos and engagement. Every client feels like a victory. You start to see the results of countless hours, countless sessions, changing lives, hers and everybody that she works with and trains. We talked about nutrition myths, intermittent fasting, which I do, or at least I try. It's super hard. Other parts of her life, like binging. Have you ever heard of Canada Shore? Like, all right. Alien visitation, entrepreneurship, family, and then her career highlight.
Oh, I have a couple, but
that's why it's so hard.
Yeah, that's a hard one. So when I think my peak moment where I cried the most was after my 5 years of working at that all-female studio. I got really close with like a lot of the girls there, worked with some amazing people, and it felt like so bittersweet to leave there. I was, transitioning into online. We were moving, there was this whole thing that I just couldn't work there anymore. And so I was sad to go. And what I did after every class, after I instructed every class, is I would clap for them. And I was always clapping by myself. Way to go, ladies. Like, you did awesome. And that was just something I made sure I did every class, because I was proud of them. I mean, they worked really hard. And I think the peak moment for me was on my very last day, after class was done. I was about to clap and they all started clapping. Wow. And I just bursted into tears. And I think in that moment, I just realized, like, they heard me cheering for them all this time, and they appreciated me. And I really just felt, and they all came up and group hugged me, and I could not hold it together. I was bawling my eyes out. And
Blubbering.
I think that was the highlight for me, because it just felt like all my hard work had been appreciated and noticed. And it just felt like, I was doing what I was supposed to do. So.
Oh, that's really nice. And so did you, what's a nice way to say this? Did you snake some of them? Did you grab some of the people that you were working with? Like, hey, come over here to the online part with me.
No, honestly, I did not want to leave on those terms. I tried to keep my online thing very secret from a lot of them, because I really respected my boss, and she had done so much for me, taught me so much, and I loved working at that place. So I definitely didn't want to be that person. I thought, if you're gonna, I had been running my business while I was working there, but on the low. Like I wasn't telling anyone about it. And when I left, I definitely didn't say a word either, because I just didn't want to be like that. I thought, if you're gonna go out on your own and run your business, you can get your own client.
What an awesome moment. And they all came up, group hugged me, and I couldn't hold it together. I bawled my eyes out. What an amazing feeling that must have been for Samantha. Knowing where it started with the clients, the transformations, the moments that define her as a personal trainer, a coach. It was great to get her thoughts on cheat foods, what she's learned from clients over the years. We talked about dieting, going to concerts, the YouTube rabbit holes that she does, the music of Shania Twain, Eric Clapton, Led Zeppelin, the music she grew up around.
My mom listened to a lot of like Shania Twain, Dixie Chicks, Martina McBride, like those classic country ladies, and she also was like into Eric Clapton and like some classic rock as well. Same with my dad; he was, he into like Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, but he's a French Canadian, so there was a lot of French Canadian artists that we listened to. But he's also an artist, a singer songwriter himself.
Oh no! Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, so he's actually my favorite. But he's an amazing guitar player, and he was always playing when we were growing up. So grew up to a lot of his talent.
Okay, so now I'm understanding, because I hit you maybe a couple of weeks back and was like, hey, by the way, I really enjoyed that you posted some of your stuff when you're playing guitar and all that. So it's your dad kind of that got you down that road.
Yeah, totally. No, he taught me how to play guitar when I think I was 15 or something like that. And he was always trying to teach me when I was younger, but I never took it seriously.
Yeah.
And then like throughout the years, I've been on and off practicing. And then it's funny because like I've done fitness shows and I feel confident doing those. But when I sing in front of people, it's like I get so vulnerable. I feel so shy about it, but this is why I'm trying to put myself out there more and do it more, because I know people enjoy it, I enjoy it, and I just need to, get over those fears.
You just got to get over that hump. Yeah, because you have a great voice. You have a great singer.
Thank you.
The Toddcast podcast is powered by Milano Coffee, bringing you the finest espresso and coffee concepts in the world. Online at milanocoffee.ca.
Your shots, keeping it all in view. They're planning your return and waiting too. Coming from a broken scene, looking at you through a cracked screen. I'll meet you on that grassy hill by the wood stretcher. Grass, it always grows. That much is true. It's not what you see, it's what you do. It's what you do. Coming from a broken scene, looking at you through a cracked screen. I'll meet you on that grassy hill by the wood stretcher. Your shots, keeping it all in view. They're planning your return and waiting too.
And now, stop me if you've heard this before on the Toddcast podcast.
Without question, one of Canada's best metal bands is Ancients. Formed in Vancouver, 2011, they're multiple Juno Award winners. And when their singer, Kenny Cook, jumped to Zoom with us, they had just picked up their second Juno the weekend before, which was a bit of a surprise to him, considering the other nominees included Devin Townsend and Spirit Box. Well, Ancients have been turning heads since their debut album called Heart of Oak in 2013, followed by The Voice of the Void in 2016, and Beyond the Reach of the Sun in 2024. Impeccable records, the kind you swear by. Kenny was cool getting into it, talking about all sorts of things like growing up in Mission, touring Europe, the band often being compared to Mastodon. We talked about the early years as well, including his time in Spread Eagle before starting up Ancients. Touring with Lamb of God and Sepultura came up, so did binge-watching Breaking Bad, listening to Miles Davis, seeing Gob live, and even hockey, including Alex Ovechkin's goal-scoring chase and the Vancouver Canucks' dismal play. And stop me if you've heard this before, Kenny talked about making it as a band.
You have to kind of get lucky enough to get certain opportunities and then
kill it when you get it.
Be able to execute when you get the chance, right? But yeah, it's basically just that easy. And like I say, it's nothing comes without hard work, right? So it's like we had been doing this for the better part of 2 decades, whether what band we were playing in. But it, like I said before, it was sort of like a militant thing that we never, questioned. Like I never, after working a 10-hour day, questioned about, I'm just not going to go to practice today. Like it was just something that was part of my routine, right? And I think like it takes a certain amount of dedication to have these opportunities come for you, right? And I think, lots of people don't understand that part. They just kind of see the things that you get and don't realize the amount of work that it took to get to that point, right? So it's just hard work and dedication really to something.
Stop Me If You've Heard This Before on the Toddcast podcast is powered by the Homedwell Group. Buying a house? Selling your home? Contact Kyle at homedwell.ca today.
I would do anything for you, and I have to the point that it's driving me mad. I would take you around when it was raining, but you can't even pick up a bill without complaining. And it's not like I expect you to do what I do, but you ask so much of me, and I always come through. Oh, I need someone to love me the way I love you. Yeah, I need someone to love me, 'cause you know that I do care for
really do get the feeling that our next live show is going to be outstanding. Her name is Felicia Andalong, and a great track for her. It's called Worthy. As mentioned earlier, Felicia's opening up the night at our next live show. So it's the last Friday of the month. We're only 10 days away now. So on Friday, April 2-4 at the Blue Light Studio in beautiful East Vancouver, Toddcast Podcast Blue Light Sessions Volume 49. It's Alex Little, Felicia Andalong. There are limited tickets still available, as mentioned, through eventbrite.ca, eventbrite.ca, B-R-I-T-E. That's where you find tickets for all of our shows. You heard a new song for Tobacco Brown. In fact, new this week. They just released it. A great song for Kev and his excellent band. It's called The Return. They played a podcast show back in December, and it was one of the best shows that I've ever done in my 12 years of putting on shows, monthly shows here in Vancouver. If you hear of Tobacco Brown, put it this way. If you hear of Tobacco Brown playing near you, try to make that show. Go check them out. It will blow your mind. All right. Okay, so our final guest of episode 388 is actor, singer Ajay Friese, this week's entertainment guest. As mentioned, he's from the West Coast, living in Victoria. I don't know if he does anymore, but he did as a kid. And now, of course, he's reaching a global audience. You've seen him in Netflix's Lost in Space, Riot Girls. His latest project is that comedy series American Classic, which stars Kevin Kline, Laura Linney. You can see that on MGM Plus. More on that in just a sec. There's a creative drive that never really shuts off, balancing sound, story, performance. And interesting to note that music came first. It was the rhythm, the instinct, the feel.
Yeah, well, music is my first love. Music is what I most innately do. It's like you put a toddler in a room alone and just watch what they do, and I would just make up songs ever since I can remember. Ever since my parents say I was humming music before I could talk and drumming on stuff. It was just a big part of who I am at the core. And so it's always been my first love. I've written songs since I was 12. I put out my first EP of original songs when I was in 2016 with a band I made in high school of just all the best musicians that I knew who were my age from all the local high schools in Victoria. And we were a 6-member piece called Close the Bombay Doors. And we had violin, cello, trumpet, drums, bass, and guitar. And and it was I wrote all the songs, and we were just an indie folk group. And so in many ways, music it's easily been just as big of a part, if not a bigger part of my life than acting.
I like getting people to talk about their childhood. It makes them feel good. He goes, I would just make up songs ever since I can remember. The Full Talk with Ajay is just over half hour long. You can hear it. You can see it through iTunes, Spotify, Megaphone, wherever you listen. Of course, on YouTube for the video. So yeah, music was always first, telling a story without a single word. That's what drew him in, but acting called as well. And we got into that world, talking about binging White Lotus, How I Met Your Mother, creative fulfillment, Miss Saigon, and the early influences. We talked about Simple Plan and Rifflandia, Nelly Furtado and City and Color, being a drama nerd, and back to starring in American Classic. Tell us about that.
I know it's incredible. We have Oscar winner Kevin Kline, Emmy nominee, and potentially Oscar nominee as well, Laura Linney, the legendary Laura Linney from Ozark and The Truman Show. And we have just so many amazing people on it, and I was just so honored to be able to join that cast. I play Laura Linney's daughter's boyfriend, who's also a singer-songwriter. And so I got to bring in so much of my musical side to the role, which is not the first time that's happened on screen. I also sang Lost in Space, which I was a recurring character, or I was a series regular on for all 3 seasons. In the 3rd season, they asked me to play an acoustic, almost lullaby folk cover of Bob Marley's 3 Little Birds as my character on screen. And so it's funny that music keeps on coming up in the acting, and I love it. And I forget what your question was.
Just talking about how awesome it is to be part of
American Classic. Yeah.
Cool
so
movie like American
for those
Classic.
for those who are listening, American Classic, it premieres, or it premiered, I guess, by the time you're listening to this, probably March 1st on MGM Plus, the legendary studio MGM. My friend was like, the casino company?
You're like, no,
and
come on, stay with me.
And so, but the same as the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. But MGM is, you'll know it from the lion that roars at the beginning of the movies, Metro Golden Mayer. And so MGM Plus have launched their own streaming service, which is accessible through Amazon. And this is a heartfelt family comedy drama about just complicated family dynamics and the messiness that comes with art and ambition and unresolved family history. And it's at its heart, it's about what happens when someone chooses fame over staying true to their roots at home, and then coming home and having to face all that stuff that they left behind. And that's Kevin Kline, and he was absolutely brilliant on and off screen.
Love that for Ajay. He says, it's funny that music keeps on coming up in the acting, and I love it. The landing American Classic was a milestone, but for him, it only added to the whole experience, right? Each set, each scene, each long day, it compiles into a career highlight, which we'll get to in just a sec. As we always do, we went a little bit further than what our guests are known for, talking about Minecraft, his band Ajay Friese. Family came up. We talked a lot about family. The Olympics and the World Cup. He shared a near-death camping story, and he had a surprising, or at least I thought it was, a surprising career highlight.
I think the biggest highlight was happened in the last few years. It was finding my sound and making the choice of who I want to be as an artist. Just like everyone, I listen to so many genres of music. I love to write. I like to make so many. I love to write, pop and R&B and jazz and rap and everything. And I realized that what I do most truly from my heart is the music that I was writing when I was like 13 years old with a guitar in my room, never to be released or anything. And I'm just a folk storyteller. And once I decided, that's my calling, that's my purpose, that's how I'm going to share my voice, that was incredibly empowering to be like, no, this is what I'm doing, and I've decided that. And I want to eventually become one of the great folk storytellers of the world. And it just is so exciting to just decide that that's the purpose that I want to continue to realize.
Taking that first step, it's a big one.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Well, congrats on the debut. It's out when again? It's on
March 13th.
Or March 13th. Oh, so
March
it's 13th. You're only a couple weeks away.
Yep, Friday the 13th. I just finished cover art right here. I'll show it to you. That is my cover art.
Outstanding.
And it's going to have your face right there in the reflection.
Of course, yes, of course it will. Why wouldn't it?
March 13th, Ajay Friese on all streaming services. It's called Postcards, and 5 singles are already out from the album.
Subscribe on iTunes, YouTube, and Spotify at Toddcast Podcast.
Just take your space and let me break. were like a currency to us. Would we flow like raging water for every son and every daughter who look to us for love? If you had just believed in us instead of leading us to slaughter, we would have let our bones grow stronger. If trust was like a currency to us, would we flow like raging water for every son and every daughter who look to us for love? Just take your space and let me break the burdens of both leaves our bodies to change this empty place with the voice I place. Deja vu will be our saving grace.
That has got to be one of the best indie songs in Vancouver right now. They are called Arlo Wells, and a new song for them, Fresh Cut. They played a podcast show a couple of years back now, I guess. Absolutely pummeling live show. They are among the elite in the genre in what they do here in Vancouver on the West Coast. Cannot say enough good things about the band and the guys in the band, and their live show is absolutely spot on. As we put this one to bed, episode 388, a huge thanks to all of our guests: Guitar Windsor, Sofia Victoria, fitness nutrition trainer Samantha Losier, and actor-singer Ajay Friese. Appreciate you all taking the time to be a guest of the Toddcast and sharing your truly inspiring stories. My name is Todd Hancock. Thank you so much for listening, for being there. If you like what you heard, please do tell your friends about us. We are part of the Realm.fm network. They're based out of New York City. You can subscribe to us on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Megaphone, all of the videos, whether it's the interviews we do or all the live stuff we do at the Blue Light Sessions. YouTube. Comment and rate that podcast as well. It helps out big time. Search us out through Toddcast Podcast. Huge thanks to all of our wonderful sponsors. We wouldn't be able to, they are the reason, they are the engine that drives the Toddcast. Find all links to all sponsors at toddhancock.ca. If you'd like to sponsor the podcast, you can for as little as $10 a day. Contact info at the homepage. Shoot me a note and we'll see what's up. Otherwise, if you help us find a sponsor, this still applies. We will give you a commission. Make money listening to this podcast. So keep that in mind. And until next time, don't be an asshole, because nobody, literally nobody, wants to be around that. Have fun, play hard, and most of all, believe in yourself.
You've been listening to the Toddcast Podcast, powered by Citywide Mortgage Services, dedicated to helping you find the best mortgage rates. Available 7 days a week at citywidemortgage.ca.
Welcome and enter if you dare. Hi, I'm Hallie Keeper.
And I'm Allison Leiby. And together, we're the hosts of Ruined, a scary movie podcast where Hallie tells me the grisly details of a haunting new horror film each week.
Whether you're a terror hound like me or a scaredy cat like Allison, we've got so many thrills, chills, and obviously kills to share with you in every episode.
It's the podcast that'll have you saying, "That was so funny. I should not have listened to it at night with all the lights off."
From the greats like The Exorcist and Poltergeist to modern classics such as Hereditary and Get Out to the freakiest new releases like A Quiet Place and Terrifier, we ruin them all and will leave you howling, mostly from laughter, sometimes because you're turning into a werewolf.
Ooh. Listen along as I try and guess the movie's twist, predict who will survive, and answer the hardest question of all. What would you do?
So please listen to new episodes of Ruined every Tuesday on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
And whatever you do, we're begging you, please
keep it spooky.
Oh, please, not that music. That music gives me nightmares from my childhood.
Could we get something a little bit lighter, some lighter music here?
Are you a fan of true crime TV shows?
And what about Unsolved Mysteries, the show that jump-started all of our love of true crime?
I'm Ellen Marsh.
And I'm Joey Taranto.
And we host I Think Not, a true crime comedy podcast covering some of the wildest stories from your favorite true crime campy TV shows all the way to unsolved mysteries.
Baby, you will laugh, you will cry, you'll think about true crime in a whole new way, and you'll also ask yourself, who gave these people mics?
New episodes of I Think Not are released every Wednesday with bonus episodes out every Thursday on Patreon.
And every Monday, you can listen to our True Crime Rundown, where we go over the top true crime headlines of the week.
So come and join us wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Ever open up your podcast app, scroll forever, and still not know what to listen to? And there are millions of podcasts, and most of them, they just don't grab you. That's why I created Something You Should Know. Every episode is built around surprising, useful, and fascinating ideas. We're consistently ranked in Apple's top 200 with thousands of 5-star reviews. But more importantly, people come back because they learn something interesting every time. If you're tired of searching and you just want something good to listen to, try one episode of Something You Should Know right here on the platform you're listening on right now.